Alright, so in this video I'm going to be talking to you guys about best zombies classes, episode number 2, and the top tips to get XP in your game, or how to get more XP in your game inside of Call of Duty Black Ops 4 Zombies. This class setup is slightly different than the other ones that I've made or that I'm planning to make, because you're not as reliant on the class as you are as all three layers that I'm going to talk about. So what I mean is that the class is definitely one aspect of this video, but there's the in-game aspect that you have to actually do it yourself in-game, and then there's the pre-game aspect that you have to do before you even jump into the game. So you have a pre-game setup, you have a class setup, and you have an in-game strategy that you have to follow, opposed to maybe something like an Easter egg class setup where you'd just put on a class, you'd run it, and then that's pretty much it. You do your Easter egg whatever way you want to do it, and you just kind of use what I tell you. In kind of whatever way you want, but because what I tell you is good, it would help you to get the Easter egg done faster and more efficiently. So there are different aspects here. Yes, the class will help you, but it's not going to be as helpful if you don't follow the other three aspects as well. So with that out of the way, let's just jump straight into the video. How to get more XP inside of Call of Duty Black Ops 4 Zombies by just following what I tell you. So elixirs, in this case, completely irrelevant what I have on. You can run whatever the hell you want. If I did have to recommend one, it would be Arsenal Accelerator, but again, irrelevant. You can run pretty much whatever the hell you want. Perks are the main thing here. Again, specialist weapon, equipment. Starting weapon is going to be important, but equipment, I would recommend Wraithfire. Put on whatever the hell you want. Specialist, really not that important. I'd recommend the gravity spikes if you're an ether, but again, not extremely important. Here, you can run whatever you want. Main two things in this class setup are going to be the perks and the starting weapon. The starting weapon, you're going to want to make the Strife, and I'll get into why in a little bit. But in terms of the class, you're going to notice that we're going to be running two specific perks, and the reasons behind it is, I'm going to tell you right now, in the Strife, there's a reason why you're running the Strife as well. In Black Ops 4 Zombies, you earn more XP by getting headshots and by getting melee kills, and there's a few other things that make you earn more XP. There's different ways you can change your XP rates, and I'm going to get into that at the end. That's actually the third layer of this video, the thing you have to do before you jump into the game. Or actually the second thing I'm going to talk about, not the third thing, but yeah. Melee kills and headshots, determining factor on how much you get XP in the how much extra XP you get in the game. Of course, you get XP if you get body shots and if you don't get melee kills, but by getting headshots and melee kills, you get a ton more XP. So how could we possibly get more XP in our game, or how could we ensure that we get more headshots to get more XP in our game? How could we get more melee kills, this way we get more XP in our game, if really the only one-hit melee kill is on insta-kills or when it's only round 1? It's probably a very annoying situation, but in this video, hopefully that gets cleared up. First things first, you're going to want to go to your modifier perk, aka your tonic perk in the Ether storyline, or your Odin perk in the KHAOS storyline, and put on Deadshot Dealer. And the reason behind this is because it automatically locks onto the zombie's midsection / head. Okay, it says it right there in the description. Aiming down sights snaps onto the enemy's head, so it'll aim directly for this, opposed to directly for their nuts, which obviously is very, very useful if you're trying to get more headshots in your game to get more XP. And obviously that's a really, really good feature itself, but it also reduces, the sway of your weapon, which probably doesn't make too much of a difference, but that's a bonus. And then if you have it as your modifier, the most important thing comes here as well. Gain a damage boost when on a headshot streak. So if I go on a 20 to 25 headshot streak, I'll just keep racking up that bonus damage from my headshots, and that's obviously really, 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 really good. So why not run it if it's an option available for me, especially if I'm especially if I'm trying to get more XP. I'm kind of dying here. But yeah, Deadshot Dealer, you're gonna definitely want to run as your modifier perk. And then as your other 3 perks, or as your other 2 perks, they don't really matter too much. The only other perk that I recommend you run is Stone Cold Stronghold, and that's pretty much exclusively if you're camping. If you're not planning on camping, then this perk really isn't that important for you, because in order to even have the perk activate, you have to be standing still for about 3 seconds. So if you're really going to be training and not ever going to be standing still, you're going to be kind of picking off zombies here and there, then Stone Cold Stronghold is kind of irrelevant for you. Yes, maybe if you have stamina paired with Stone Cold, you can train, get away from the zombies, stand still, wait for it to activate, and then shoot into the horde, but that's a little risky at the end of the day, and I really wouldn't run Stone Cold unless you're really camping. But again, if you want to, and you think you have a good strategy where you can stop and then wait for it to activate and shoot into the zombies, go ahead and run it, and you'll notice that it's definitely very important, not only because it boosts your damage while you're inside the circle, but because it gives you extra hits from the zombies. So if you happen to take an extra hit by accident as you're trying to get those headshots, you know, you're not going to be penalized for it because you have armor on you as well. You get an extra 2 to 3 hits. That'll definitely help you out in some bad situations. But again, that's pretty much only if you're camping. If you're training, then it's irrelevant. You don't have that armor on you unless you're in that circle, and the circle doesn't activate unless you're standing still. So 2 perks I recommend, once again, Deadshot Dealer and Stone Cold Stronghold, but only Stone Cold if you're camping. The other 2 perks to be whatever you want. I recommend Quick Revive and Deadshot Dealer, not Deadshot Dealer, Dying Wish. But again, run wherever you want in those other 2 perk slots. Perks are out of the way. I talked about all this stuff. Other thing that's very important is that you have your Strife max level and have the stiletto knife attachment on it. And I'm going to explain why in a second. And then, of course, once you have the Strife unlockable in your game to activate as the starting weapon, go ahead and use it as the starting weapon, apply to the class. But the reason why we're going to actually be using it as our starting weapon, and the reason why I'm telling you to get it to max level and throw on the operator mod for it, is because the operator mod is a one-hit melee kill until round 4. And if you remember back to what I said before, headshots and melee kills are the 2 things in Black Ops 4 Zombies that get you the absolute most XP in the game. So if you have a one-hit melee kill until round 4, that's going to get you a lot more XP opposed to you just killing, you know, meleeing everything on round 1 and then getting headshots, or just getting body shots for the rest of the time with maybe another weapon or even the Strife. Just getting melee kills in general will get you the most XP as you're going along and on your way. So, and the most points. That's very important as well, because the next thing we're going to talk about is the actual strategy in your game. But well, actually, it's not going to be the next thing. It's going to be the third thing. But don't worry, I'm going to get into it. I'm very scattered here. There's a lot of things I have to talk about at the same time. So I'm just trying to cover every single aspect without trying to forget anything. We talked about perks, we talked about the starting weapon, and we also discussed why we're running the starting weapon and what attachments that you exactly need. Any of these don't really matter. The main thing is that you just have the stiletto knife attachment. This way you have a one-hit melee kill from rounds 1 to 4. You can maximize the XP in the early rounds, and of course maximize those points, since melee kills get you the most points in Black Ops 4 Zombies, and I think pretty much any Zombies game out there. So definitely run the Strife with the stiletto knife attachment. Run it as your, you know, starting weapon in your class, and you'll be good to go. Your class, I believe, is out of the way. You don't have anything else to run on your class. Next thing we're going to move into is the actual, you know, thing you have to do before you go into the game, and then I'll talk about the actual in-game strategy. And I want to talk about the in-game strategy first, but it'll just make more sense to tell you about what to do before you jump into a game. And this pretty much only applies to the people who are mainly solo players. If you are somebody who's mostly a co-op player, you play with your friends almost every day, then this probably isn't too relevant to you. But again, if you're somebody like me who's mainly a solo player, sure, I play with my friends every once in a while, but most of the time I'm streaming solo, I'm playing solo, I'm grinding solo. I'm gonna earn a ton less XP because Treyarch actually penalizes you for being a solo player. You earn a ton less XP for playing solo, and there is a way to kind of combat that and, you know, kick them in the ass and gain more XP without glitching or doing anything wrong, and that's just simply by running bots in your game. But without giving you any specific numbers, the reason why you're going to want to run bots, and the reason why Treyarch penalizes you, or just in general, if you get a headshot, for example, and these aren't exact numbers, but this is just, again, a demonstration, just telling you the generalization of what's going on. If you get a headshot in Black Ops 4 Zombies in solo, you'll probably gain 50 XP, and again, these aren't exact numbers, keep that in mind. I know the exact numbers are out there, but say you gain 50 XP in solo for getting a headshot. In 4 players, you'll get 90 XP or 80 XP. There's a big gap between the solo headshot and the 4-player headshot. And again, I'm going to say it for like the 8th time. These aren't exact numbers, but that's pretty much the difference between the XP variations. There is a variation between playing solo, or a difference between playing solo and between playing 4 players. If you're not playing 4 players, then you're going to gain less XP, regardless of if it's 3 players, 2 players, and especially solo. It's going to be a pain in the ass to rank up. You're going to earn a lot less XP. So if you are running solo or even 2 players, throw on a bot, or throw on 3 or 2 bots, depending on how many people are in your game, and you will earn more XP, because the XP rates with more players in the game are increased. So keep that in mind. This is a big tip. This is probably the most important thing, you guys can do in your game, because every single headshot you get in the game, if you're in a 4-player game, will give you that bonus XP. So every headshot you'll get an extra 30 XP, 30 XP, 30 XP, 30 XP. You get 300 300 headshots, 30 XP a piece. That's a ton more XP than you would get playing solo and not getting that extra 30 XP per headshot. You know what I'm saying? And same thing goes with the melee kills and everything along those lines. Every single thing you do in a 4-player game will earn you a ton more XP than what it gives you in a solo game. So definitely, before you jump in your game, make sure you add in some bots. Hey, they may be annoying, but they definitely help you rank up. So put them on if you're really trying to rank up and just grind out levels for maybe just a short duration of time. Bots will be very, very useful. That's the second layer of this video. So the first layer was the class. The second layer was the kind of the pre-game things, what you need to set up. Now the third thing is the in-game strategy and what exactly you're going to be doing with what I told you to run. Specialist weapon, yeah, I told you that doesn't matter. It really doesn't. So once you get into your game, say you spawn into 9, round 1, what are you going to be doing? Melee kills with that strife. Since you have that stiletto knife attachment on your strife, you have a one-hit melee from rounds 1 to 4. And not only does that one-hit melee ensure that you get one-hit kills and, you know, gain extra XP for getting those melee kills, but it also ensures that you get a ton more points in your game, because as we all know, if you shoot zombies in the chest or if you knife them, you're going to get more XP for actually just knifing them, again, opposed to just shooting them in the chest and killing them plain out normal. So if you're getting those melee kills, you're getting more XP and you're getting more points, and those more points are going to come in big when we get to the next part of the video. So again, stiletto knife attachment on the strife, rounds 1 to 4, melee every single zombie you see, and then once round 5 starts, don't kill any zombies unless you really need to. You can double knife it with the stiletto knife still, but try not to kill any zombies. Open up the doors until you get to the Bowie knife. Once you get to that Bowie knife, buy it, and here's the bad part. You're going to actually have to buy another weapon. So the cheapest weapon on the map that I believe you can buy is the Essex, which sucks, but I mean, just buy it, because without having another weapon in your inventory, you actually can't utilize the Bowie knife. You actually need another weapon in your inventory to even use the Bowie knife if you have the strife with stiletto knife, because if you have the strife with stiletto knife and the Bowie knife in your hand, the strife is just going to always primary. It's going to come first over the Bowie knife every single time. It's just going to keep jabbing the zombies with the stiletto knife. It's not going to even recognize you have the Bowie knife because it's right on your gun. So keep that in mind when you're playing. If you need a few extra points, just keep knifing the zombies. It will be a 2-hit after round 4, but just keep knifing the zombies with the stiletto knife attachment until you have enough points to buy the Bowie knife and another weapon in your game. So again, rounds 1 to 4, use the strife to get as many melee kills or every single kill in the game. The strife with the stiletto knife attachment, meaning every single kill is going to be a melee kill from the strife. Then rounds 5 to 10, you're going to utilize that Bowie knife that you just bought. Again, you're going to be racking in a ton of points because that Bowie knife is a one-hit kill. Again, it gives you more XP as well because you're getting those melee kills. But every single kill you get is going to give you those bonus melee points, just like the strife did. And at the end of round 10, even if it takes a little bit longer to get there because you're meleeing every zombie, you're going to not only have a ton more XP than you would if you were shooting every zombie, but you're going to also have a ton of points, which will then allow you to open up the rest of the map, get more guns, get better guns faster, and just get everything done a whole lot faster in the second half of the game when you're actually utilizing the stuff that I'm going to tell you about right now. So I'm going to go over this the third time. I'm going to do it quicker now. Rounds 1 to 4, strife with the stiletto knife, melee every single zombie. Rounds 5 to 10, buy the Bowie knife and another weapon with the other weapon out. Start knifing the zombies. This way you can actually utilize that Bowie knife. Once it's past round 10, aka once round 11 starts, start opening up the rest of the map if you haven't done so already. Buy other guns that you think fit your playstyle, and then from there, since you don't have any more one-hit melee kills anymore, you're going to then go for your headshots. And why are you going to go for your headshots? Because we know now that headshots get us more XP in our game, and we also ran a perk that helps us get more headshots as well, and that's Deadshot Dealer, because as soon as we have this perk in our inventory and we aim down sights, it's going to lock straight onto the zombie's head, making our lives a whole lot easier. So again, buy Deadshot as soon as you can. I would prioritize it really over getting the map opened up. So at the end of round 10, if for some reason you have like 8k points, you should have a ton more points than that, but just say you have like 8k points, right? Buy Deadshot Dealer and then buy another weapon that you can get a ton of headshots with, and then go ahead and open up the rest of the map. Prioritize Deadshot, because after round 10, again, you're not going to have one-hit melees anymore. You're going to have to start getting those headshots for the extra XP. I'm not saying every single kill in the game is going to have to be a headshot, but if you want to maximize that XP, you're going to want to get as many headshots as possible. So buy Deadshot Dealer as early on as possible, rack up those headshots as early on as possible, and you will be good to go. My in-game weapon recommendations would be the Mauzu, but only if you have it max level with the operator mod and all the good attachments on it. Otherwise, it's really not that great at all. Again, just rank it up, get the operator mod, get those attachments, make it an absolute beast. Run in the game with this strategy, and it will be a beautiful weapon to run with this strategy. But again, if you don't have it ranked up, don't run it. Other than the Strife, the KN's a pretty good gun for headshots. The Swordfish, or not really, the ABR, the LMGs, the Hades is probably one of the best guns in the game to get headshots with. And the Zweihander, Hades and Zweihander, I would say they're top two. With Deadshot Dealer, absolute beast, and you are good to go. Even the Strife, if you pack a punch it, absolute beast once again, and you guys will be set. Keep getting those headshots, keep taking advantage of the Deadshot Dealer, keep trying to get headshots in rapid succession, and since Deadshot is your modifier perk, you'll keep getting bonus damage as well. So again, if you're going a 20 to 25 headshot kill streak, that'll just keep increasing the damage output from your weapon as well, which is awesome. Again, if you are camping and you're not training, that will also come into play. You'll definitely be able to get headshots easier. But if you applied Stone Cold to your class because you are not training and you're camping, then you'll have that bonus output from that on top of Deadshot, and you'll be extra hits until you're down, and you'll just be an absolute beast. So that's pretty much it. Again, this is the class you're going to want to run right here. Elixirs are irrelevant. Oh, wait, I think that's it right there. Are irrelevant. These are the perks that you're going to want to run. That's the starting weapon you're going to want to run. Of course, you're going to want the Stiletto Knife Operator mod for the Strife. You're going to want to throw on bots in your game before you even jump in. And then in terms of in-game strategies, 1 through 4 with the Strife, 5 through 10 with the Bowie Knife. Then get Deadshot Dealer. Get a gun that can get you headshots, like the the Hades, the Zweihander, or the KN, or really any gun you can get from the box that'll get you a ton of headshots, and you'll be good to go. You'll be on your way to earn yourself a ton of XP inside of Call of Duty Black Ops 4 Zombies. If this video did help you out, make sure you drop it a thumbs up. Make sure you are subscribed. This way you don't miss the next episode of Best Zombies Classes, which is going to be episode number 3. No clue what it's going to be yet, but make sure you're subscribed so you don't miss it. And I will see you guys later. Have a good ass day.